Alphonic.com.
So now, happy weekend if your team won. Yeah, happy weekend if your team won. Happy weekend or non-happy weekend if your team did not win. So, I'm not starting with you, but I want to start with you. How's your weekend going? How's it going with you? Same place, same time. Is that what you're doing right now?
Yeah, fine.
So,
Normal.
so it's okay now. Which one be normal? So it's okay.
Normal.
Okay. Dele, how's it going now? How's your weekend going?
It's going okay. Same position, nothing changed.
Same position. What do you mean by that? Explain to me.
I mean, are we not still second?
Oh, still second.
We've won the game. What happens? Liverpool still won the title. So
No, why you dey bend? I never even tell you it. I just dey ask you about you.
I just tell you in advance now.
You tell me in advance.
Mm.
Okay. Kopama, you don't start with your Kopama again. How far? Still top of the league? Kopama. By the way, guys, if you're listening, that's
Hello?
Yeah, we dey hear you. That's alarm.
Yeah, still top of the league. Why delay the sound like that? Which one they say Liverpool has won? Didn't it start from 0-0? Which one?
When I calm down. OVK, how's it going? Maresca boy, are you a proud Maresca boy now?
No. This is what we should be doing week in, week out. So I'm not carried away, but yeah, good results.
Mm-hmm.
Some people say we should not be happy because we won. Like we should be sad. So I'm sad.
Name names.
Yeah. So I want to pretend that I'm sad. So yeah.
All right, guys, we're gonna go straight into it. The games of this weekend. For some people it was exciting, for some not so exciting. Start with England as usual. Dele, are you worried that Arsenal are going to get pulled into this mess? If you keep on losing, it's not like you're not going to be second or even third or even fourth. Are you worried at all, or you feel you guys will make it?
Make it to Champions League position.
Stay second, because you guys have always been like, oh, we came second, we competed.
I mean, at the end of the day, what's the difference? Come second, third, fourth, go to Champions League. That's what all that matters.
The most important thing is Champions League.
The league has been over now. So what is the fight for first, second, third, fourth?
But don't you think it's into the morale of the team, the way you guys are losing? Are you not concerned about the way you lose points from winning positions? Do you feel like you guys have reached your peak and then like you're now taking a nosedive into another dimension? You don't feel that's happening with Arsenal?
I guess. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what you mean by that, but like I said, the season is over. The season can be over again on Wednesday, and what happened again? Next season starts again. We'll for next year.
Why? Now because of the way you want to do, now you dey cough. And why you dey cough? Kopama,
Hello?
why you dey cough into our stream?
I mean, it's just a bit of cold. Sorry about that.
Yeah, everyone's got a cold. I got a cold as well. We shall survive. So I would like to hear more from Dele. Like Dele, what's going to be the plan going forward for Arsenal? Are you Arteta in or are you Arteta out? What should Arsenal be doing? Or you want to wait till Wednesday to decide?
Plan, is it to build bungalow?
At the end of the day, after Wednesday, if we're out or whatever, then I need another coach. That's it.
Right. So that's the ultimatum. If he gets knocked out on Wednesday, that's it. Arteta's time is done.
For me, yes.
All right. I don't know if I should throw this question to you or to. Let me throw it to you. I mean, there was something sent to the group like, oh, Arteta is top 5 coaches in the world at the moment. If Madrid wanted to get someone, it would be Arteta. Do you share the same sentiment? I mean, this came up from Arsenal fans camp, basically.
It depends on what Madrid are looking for. Every coach has different. I mean, every team has whatever they're looking for. But I mean, right now, if you're calling top 3, 1, 2, 3, his name will be involved. Yes, he has not won any major thing, but we know where he took the club from. Sometimes it doesn't work for you in one club. You just move to another one, and this is not anything against him, but he has tried everything he can. So maybe he can just go. That's the funny part. He might get to Madrid now, and it's a different ball game because he has all the players and everything available.
Interesting. I'm gonna move on to show. Sure. Do you still think that you guys should not win the Europa League to get into the Champions League? Are you still with the same line of thought, or are you been just cover you they do since? Which one you did? I want to know right now.
Okay. First of all, I'd like to clarify something. Like I said the other day, personally, I do not want us to win it. The only reason why I would want us to win it at the time, which was what I said, was because of Bant, so that you people will stop banting me about us being in 16th or 14th. That was the only reason that I wanted to win it. But I didn't want us to win it so we can, know that see, we are bad, and then we can build from there. And just like Amorim said, I think this was after the fourth, or what is it called now? The first leg. I think he says something about us winning the Europa does not mean that we have had a good season, that we are still very bad. He mentioned it. I'll try and get the link and send it. So, I mean, personally, I don't want us to win it. Let's get ourselves where we are as a club, and then we'll be from there. If we think we want to get back to competing, yeah. But somehow, different people with different stuffs. Of course, because of Bant, I want us to win it so that I can easily say, hey, you that became second, you didn't win trophy, So I mean, different agendas. Either we win it or we don't win it. There will be different agendas. Yeah. So that's. I mean, I still maintain my position, to be honest. Yeah.
Okay. So good that you mentioned agendas. I want to ask you it's a serious question, right? And guys, you can chip in if you feel it's valid or not. If Man United win the Europa League and Arsenal does not win or does not get to the final, does not win the Champions League, and the other teams, Man City, does not win the FA Cup, would you say Man United have won? I mean, have had a better season? It's a serious question. It's not a bad question because that's
okay. Yeah. Thank you for that question. Okay. So now, yeah. Sorry for the laugh. So generally, trophies, make teams, because of course, at the end of the day, if you look back at it in the next 3, 4, 5, 10 years, people will point out to what each team won at a time. So I mean, if Man U ended up winning the Europa League and they ended up being in the Champions League, then of course we can easily say they've had a better season. Although we know, I mean, that wasn't football that we played. Anyway,
but the end justifies the means now.
you get just like how we ended up being in the Europa. We are not supposed to even go to Europa in the first place. Chelsea was supposed to go to, and then we ended up performing somehow. Miracle happened, and we beat City in FA Cup, and then we ended up in Europa, and then we say, yeah, we are there, and all of those things. Yeah. So I mean, once you win trophy, except Community Shield that some people think is World Cup, But I mean, once you win a reasonable trophy, yeah, you're good to go. You've had a better season. Yeah.
Guys, what do you think? Do you agree with Sean on this?
Fully, yes, I do.
No, I don't agree.
Okay, go on.
I mean, how are you 15th for 16th? And they are thinking about having a better season than someone that is 12th. Like, it really make it make sense. Normally, big teams are not playing in Europa League. So let's say you haven't won a Champions League or something, it can then make sense that you have a better season than the second or a third. You are 15th, 2 points above 17th in the last safe placing position. That is a bad season that can never get better. So yeah, I don't agree with that. This is one of the strangest seasons I've seen from a so-called top 6 club in a long. So let's say you're 7th or 8th, then you win Europa League. They still make some type of sense. But man, 16th, man, you can see any season 17th actually. So yeah, I don't hope they have a season that will be worse than this. But yeah, it can't get better for them from here. For me.
Are they even still top 6 club at this rate? I mean,
No, I mean traditional.
traditionally, right?
Yeah.
For me, why what's the aim of every club at the end of every season? Is it not to win a trophy? So
True.
you can be third every year and
A trophy that befits your position, right?
but but if Chelsea they are trying to brag their presence in Europe, they will say they won Champions League and won Euro back to back, isn't it?
Yeah,
But now
Europa. Yeah,
we are saying Europa is not a trophy. Europa is a trophy. You can say Conference League is not, but Europa
because it
is
doesn't
not.
have
So
the pedigree.
So
Okay.
I mean, I can only brag that Chelsea won the Conference League. If Chelsea make top 4, then it still makes sense. But why am I bragging that we have won Europa? They will finish 17th.
What you are saying is if Chelsea wins the Conference League, we are not going to jubilate.
If we are in 17th position, never. That's bad. That's bad by our standard. I know Show wants to feel happy. At least it's been a long time. Something made the Man U fan happy. But then, why will you finish a season out of 20 teams, like 20 teams, 3 of them they are going back to relegation. So that means the 17 that are left, you are part of the 2 that they can see that TNT Taju. Nah.
OPK, I have
Yeah,
a question for you.
sorry, please. Sorry, let
Go
me
ahead.
chip in something.
Yeah,
He
go on.
said, I want to feel, good about a Man U fan, like, because we felt bad for a long time. Okay, don't forget, we won FA Cup last season. It seems you have forgotten. So, I mean, it's not like, oh, yeah, for 6 years, for 4 years, we've not won something. Now, we won FA Cup last season. So, you can continue.
I was going to even ask Openka, you are I think, am I right if I say you are a student of, or not, or you go by the saying of the end justify the means? Because I think you've said that a couple of times when it comes to manager 3 points in Coco, not how you get it, right? So why is this different for Man United, regardless their position at the league table?
Yeah,
If they've
I
won
mean,
a trophy, it's a big trophy and it gets them into something that they have, I mean, they want to be in, which is the Champions League. It shouldn't that matter enough for them, regardless of their league finish?
that's exactly what I'm saying. The end justified the means, but this end is not ending for them. Like, I mean, it's not like they are top 10. If they are top 10, like, let's leave Banter aside. Man U used to be a very big club. Like, very traditionally, they're one of the top 6 clubs. Now, and since I've started watching football, in all honesty, I don't know about you guys. I have never seen a top club finish less than 10th. I don't think I've seen it. So if for the first time, old Man U that will know if they're going to finish 15th or 16th, I think the highest they can get is 14th. I think you can't say that because they've won Europa League, unless maybe they're winning Champions League, then you can say, okay, yeah, it's worth sacrifice. Europa League is not where they should, unless Show wants to say it's not like their top priority. When season started, I'm sure Man, you were not thinking that okay, let's just win Europa and finish 17th, then we had a good season. And don't forget, this comparison started off. You said, would you say that Man U have had a better season than City and Arsenal? And I'm saying, if they are any this season in 16th or 17th place, no, I can't say that. My opinion. I don't know about what
Okay.
other.
I've not heard from Dele. If this scenario is what plays out, like none of us, I mean, Chelsea don't win the Conference League, Man U win the Europa, Arsenal don't win the Champions League, would you feel it that they've had a better season than Arsenal?
Yes, because the European trophy, regardless of anything, they won a trophy. That's another part for them to the Champions League. I mean, finishing 1 to 5th is not to go to the Champions League. So if they finish 17, yes, they had a bad season, but they won a trophy, and now they are going to the Champions League again. So it's like you winning the second half of the European trophy and also still going to the same place. 1 to 5th are going. So they have a better season.
Okay. We're gonna move away from England before Spanish correspondent starts crying. Let's go all the way to España. It's happening in Spain, and Barcelona are 4 points ahead of Real Madrid. Copama, is this job done? Have you guys sealed it, or you are still looking behind your shoulder? You think Madrid can still, come up with something?
What's this? Hold on, please. With the momentum of the team, I don't think they can catch up. What I mean, I would just like to respect my rivals. So next week is a deciding factor.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Whether we win or
If they
lose.
beat you 1 point, Sabi, if they beat you 1 point,
Yeah, if they beat me 1 point, I'll be 1 point ahead of them. I mean the most important time of the season is the one against Inter. Once I can win that, I mean there are 25 days to the Champions League final, so I can place all my cards on the table. The league is mine. That's all.
league is just. I mean, well, how on a scale of 1 to 10, how hard do you think this season was for you guys to win the league? I mean, you didn't win it last season. It was Real Madrid, right? That one last season's. How hard was it for you this season?
Well, I coming to this season, I didn't think we would be at this point because Mbappe is a top player and I'm a big fan of his. So I didn't think we would be here. But as the season went on, I just noticed that there is something lacking in the Madrid team. Maybe because of Cruz. Actually, it's because of Cruz leaving. There's something lacking in that Madrid team, and I'm glad we could capitalize on it. But it's been so difficult because there were times where we dropped points, and Barcelona. The fact that we have been coming back in a lot of games has been so scary. It's not something I'm used to. It's not something I've seen back to back. Or like Madrid, you can be leading Madrid 2-0, and in 87 they just score 4 goals. So it's not something I'm used to. So it's been a roller coaster. I mean, some games are difficult, some you are pretty simple, but the games against Madrid, I've been fully confident. Every game against Madrid, I'm going to win, and I'm still confident about next week.
Okay. Does anyone think Madrid can still pull a surprise? Just 4 points. They win tomorrow. The pressure is on, and it goes to the last day of the season. Anyone thinks it could still happen, or is hoping that it could still happen? Me, stylishly, I'm hoping that Madrid win that next week so that the pressure is on. Last day of the season is gonna be would be would be a pressure cooker for them. You snooze, you lose.
If the pressure is on, it's just 1 point. If
You have
Inter
to
get
win.
it done, well, they have to win too.
I mean, they have to win. You have to win. Yeah. If you
So
draw and they,
everybody has to win. So
yeah.
I mean, if once Inter is gone, whether I win or lose, I'll put all my cards on the table and
Okay. That's that for Spain. The top four. I mean, the top five in there are also going to the Champions League, and as it stands, it's the usual Atletico Madrid. There's Bilbao, which is Man United's whipping boy. Whipping boy. Sure, do you feel the same way? Bilbao. Did they surprise you? Or were you surprised how easy it was for them? A bit for you guys.
Yeah, I think it was a bit surprised. Yeah, but what I just felt was that even if we were going to lose, actually, I mean, in Spain, it would be a close call. It wouldn't be that kind of, because they don't play so much of fast-paced football. I think they want to rely on that boy, that will what's his name? That boy playing
Yeah,
Nico,
Williams.
left forward. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, William, the younger one. Yeah, so I just felt okay. Well, we will have some tough challenges, but then we can just try and lose at worst 2-1, and then come to Old Trafford and possibly because we always don't know the kind of Man U that will that will be playing on the day, yeah. And then when we scored the first goal, I felt, no, these people aren't really playing. But then Man U can still yeah.
Can still
Immediately they got that record. I felt, no, this is over, and that was
Okay.
it. Yeah, it was over.
All right. So yeah, Madrid, Bilbao, and Villarreal, King Anthony and Betis. They're just 1 point off that top five. In France, all wrapped up for PSG. They benched almost their whole 11 for Arsenal. So it looks like they're getting set, but Dembele is injured. And then in Italia, it's Napoli who are ahead with 3 points. Inter is actually 3 points behind. So Conte might be winning that title for Napoli come the end of the season. We're gonna move on. I think we've done we've done more than enough of the review. I'm taking us back because there are new guards in place right now. We know that. I don't know. Do you guys feel if these guys were still in top 5 leagues, they will be competing as as the guys who are there right now? Ola Salam is always sending the Ballon d'Or power ranking or whatever it is. Do you think these guys were still playing in Europe? They'll be in the mix, or their time is done?
Considering the way football has dropped, I think both of them will still be there because maybe it depends on their team. So if Messi was still in PSG, or PSG or Barcelona, with the way the ranking of the whole clubs are right now and the condition of the whole clubs, and maybe Ronaldo will be 15th because he will be in Man U. Yeah, he'll be in 15th.
No make sure catch you.
Dele, say something now. Why are you so quiet? What's wrong?
He just weak.
You reach
So
the week, my brother.
the reason why I even brought this topic up is Ronaldo again. I mean, he's been at Al Nassr for what, 2 seasons now? Yeah, 2 seasons, and he's failed to win any sort of major trophy with them. Not the league, and then the AFC Champions League, which is the equivalent of the Champions League for the Asian countries. They got knocked out in the semis. They did not win that as well. Messi did not win the Champions League equivalent for North America as well. They also got knocked out recently in a bad form, being coached by Mascherano. It wasn't like last season when the whole Euphoria Messi thing was there. Should these guys they should just hang it up? What are they waiting for? Is anything making a dent? Are they trying? Is all these things that they're doing? Is it making a dent to their legacy, or that's sealed?
Okay.
That's sealed.
Okay. I like to go first.
Sure.
I don't. If these guys continue to play till, let's say, they become 80 years old, where they are currently, there is nothing. I repeat, nothing. Even if they decide to start doing own goals every match, nothing can dent their legacy in football. It's standard. I mean, they've done absolutely what no one has done.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, the highest what is it called, FIFA World Best that we had at the time was Zizou and R9, and they had just 3. Ronaldo has 5, and Messi has 8. I mean, and I don't think this new generation of guys, someone will have 8. I don't think. I'm not saying it is not possible. I do not think that someone will have 8. So I mean, these guys are no. Just leave them. They're just trying to make their money, and maybe let me see if I can still score 20 more goals to make it 1,000 to make it now. That kind of a thing. I mean, they're making their money, and the clubs are literally living off their brands as well. So it's a win-win situation for them.
Do you think Ronaldo, in a way, just because he keeps on playing and he keeps on scoring and widening that gap between goals scored between it, do you think that's a motivating factor for Messi to continue playing? Because what could be the motivation for Messi to keep on playing? I mean, I've watched a couple of interviews where his leg, his ankles, they're almost gone, and he's still playing. What could be the reason for someone like Messi to keep on playing?
Okay. You need to first realize something. These guys have literally dedicated their, let's say, about 25 years of their life, or 20 years of their life playing football. This is literally their life. It's hard for some of these guys to move away from football. I think Iniesta too didn't retire until, in fact, I think he went to play in India. I was wondering that, did you collect that pool money or what? What is all this? Yeah. So I mean, yeah, these guys, I personally think that apart from the business side of things, which of course, yeah, their current clubs live off their brands, is normal. I mean, Ronaldo brand in Saudi League alone is something, and then Messi in US as well, So, but apart from that, they are football lovers, so they just want to, keep doing it as long as their body still feel, yeah, I can still manage play some 25 games in a season. Yeah, they keep going. Except they just feel, whoa, maybe their wives, this is Oga Oga, I will divorce you if you don't stop. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah.
Ronaldo is not married yet. They wait for click.
Yeah, you know what I mean. You know they see any click.
Does everyone agree with that, or is something else as a motivation? Why is it that these guys are still playing? Especially Ronaldo, he's like 38, 39, and Messi is what, 36 or thereabouts. What could be that motivation? Why are they still playing football? And they're not even playing in the top level.
Yeah, I think, see, both of them, they're just enjoying themselves, and there's nothing bad about it.
Simple.
They're just enjoying themselves. Maybe, I don't know, maybe there's an hidden agenda. Maybe I want to get to 1,000 goals or anything. But regardless of Ronaldo not winning the World Cup, or, a lot of people like to chat a lot of shit on the TL. Regardless of Ronaldo not winning the World Cup and all that, both of them, they've completed football. They've done a lot. They've really enjoyed themselves, and they've set the level they got to before getting to this stage now. I can hear myself. There's something happening.
Yeah, I
It's
feel
good.
it as well.
Yeah, the level they got to before leaving the main stage. I mean, it's something a lot of people will never get to. I don't think it's very easy to get to that stage. So they've done a lot. They're just enjoying themselves. I mean, it's a way to keep themselves refreshed and also earn some money. So there's nothing bad. Anybody that is still bringing them Ronaldo, Messi into arguments is just wasting their time. They're chatting shit and yapping. That's all.
Let me guess Okwayenka's
Yeah.
Okwayenka. Is it because they did not make hay while the sun was shining? Is that why
Right.
they're
So
still playing football?
no. But I think the main issue is I think these guys want to play the next World Cup, 2026. I think so. And in all fairness, Messi has done good by going to a league where there should be no expectation. It's just that you guys will not let him rest. He's playing in America. Nobody should give. Sorry for the word, but nobody should care about. I'm not using. Nobody should care about what happens in America, right? But then you guys still will not rest. You still say because Messi is Messi. In all fairness, he has gone to a league where it's quarter to retire. Just keep fit while you wait for the next World Cup. Then for Ronaldo, I think the goals wants him to keep going. Which is, in all fairness, you don't stop football just like that unless you are injured or you are trying to avoid serious injury. They would ease off. It's going to go off eventually, but it does just not stop by just applying brake and say, okay, we'll call it a day. So I think that's the issue. They're trying to keep fit for the next World Cup while they stop gradually. So I think that's the process. That's the stuff. Yeah, and for the question about if they are still in top 5 leagues, bro, I think they are washed. I think they are gone. If they're in top 5 leagues right now, you can see where Ronaldo ended before he left Man U. So I think if they're still in top 5 leagues, there should be a question of why can't this coach just bench him? He's not helping the team, and it's probably even though nothing is going to tarnish their image, but at least Gen Z does not have memory. More time now they're dragging you. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Before we move on, Dele, you got anything to add to? I know you're a Messi boy. Would you still go watch a Messi game at this time?
No, yeah. Why not? Not too hard. Yeah. I'll watch the game.
Okay. All right. We're gonna move on to one of the burning topics over the past week, and it's all because the 17-year-old wonder kid, soon to be 18-year-old, and maybe we will rest. 17-year-old wonder kid, Lamine Yamal, as he's taking the world at make I know sure you so he has taken the world at storm. I don't know if that's the right phrase. Again, I mean he did it at the Euros. Maybe people didn't feel it at Max. I think Ola Salam will be the best, to give him a bit of praises or eulogize him right now as a 17-year-old. I know you started this. What were you doing at 17? Before we get into the discussion, is there anything you want to say about Lamine Yamal that we don't know about? I mean, I think a lot more eyes are on him right now because Champions League he's turned up, he's turned up. He was everywhere on that semi-final night. So Do you have anything to say to us or to the listeners who don't yet believe, the hype train of Lamine Yamal?
It's you, Gongo, you I want to speak to.
You cannot
Why
speak to me.
why can't I speak to you? Why are you saying he was everywhere on the 9th? Why didn't you say it that day?
What do you mean? Why did I say that that day? Did I say it was not
It
everywhere on
was
the night of the
only
day?
Dele and Show that said this guy is a top player. You didn't see anything.
No, I did actually, because I did make a tweet. I was like, DeMarco would go to bed and would have nightmares. I think I made that tweet.
So is it DeMarco? Why didn't you say Yamal?
Because he completely destroyed DeMarco. And if I said DeMarco is going to have nightmares, which other player destroyed DeMarco on the night? He did.
You should let us know, some of us that didn't watch the game.
Okay, so I gave you classwork just now. Can you please tell our listeners what?
Oh, this guy. Well, see, I've said this thing before. I don't really expect much from him. He's just the things he's doing is magical. I don't really expect much from him because we have seen a lot of. I've said this a lot of times. We have seen a lot of young players that we have hoped that okay, they are the new Messi, the new Ronaldo, and I like to mention this guy Fati. I don't really expect much from him, but if he can keep up this way, trust me, people really need to be very very careful. And I mean, the things he's doing right now, deciding games, the last game Barcelona played, he could not even stay on the bench for 45 minutes. There was an injury, but I mean there were other players there. He could not even stay. I mean, the kind of games he's deciding at this age, both for club and country, is just out of this world. And I still don't expect anything from him because sometimes the things he does, says things on the internet and everything, I know it's never going to be rosy. It's not. I mean, there'll be days where we have bad days, and like he did last season, he really had a bad season in the league last season and against PSG. But the things he's doing right now, I mean, I don't need to. This is an eye test. I don't need to convince anybody about what he's doing. He's deciding games. He's taking out top defenders, and he's making an impact. So that's all. I mean, he's as we speak, he's the top
Don't
um
start. Don't start.
yeah. As we speak, he's the top
Don't start.
contender for the Ballon d'Or. And I
Why?
mean,
Do you think media has a role to play in this?
oh
Because
well,
all along it's been what, Rafinha, just because, but all of a sudden, uh, the media is swaying people's mind, right? Because people love when people dribble, take on. People want to be quote unquote entertained, but entertainment sometimes doesn't win you games. You think media has a hand to play, and they're just changing people's mind about who should be Ballon d'Or ahead of Rafinha?
no, aside media, the game is the game. Unfortunately, a lot of people talk before they can actually say something good about a player. They need to check goals and assists and all that, and that's why some players are never in the chat. But when this whole conversation started and Joe was like, I think Rafinha. If you are using goals and assists, then you can call Rafinha. But if you are talking, that's why I will agree with Joe on I think that Rafinha. Honestly, we can banter, but we all know the truth in our mind. I don't see Rafinha as that kind of player. I've never seen him as that kind of player. Do you understand? Because why are you a winger when you can't take on your defender, your man, one v one? I mean, he was doing it before, but ever since Yamal broke into the stage, for him to take on defenders is so difficult. I mean, he's so stagnant in play, the way he plays some kind of shots and all that. But at the end of the day, if you're using goal and assist, Rafinha would definitely come top in the conversation. But if you're looking at general play, I mean, I would forever go for Yamal. I would not have said it before, if not because of the things happening now. But when people were trying to say, oh, Yamal got just 7 goals last season and he got the Ballon d'Or shout, I'm directing this question to him, show. Now that Rafinha, regardless of how he's playing, whether fluke or anything, is topping the European chart. Yeah, now you are still saying, oh, football has fallen, but you are the same person saying, why is Yamal getting shouts because of 7 goals? But all round, I think I would prefer somebody like Yamal to win it so that a lot of people will just log out and cry and do something. But if it's Rafinha, so no problem. I just hope Yamal can keep up so he can win it next year, hopefully.
Okay, but I don't know. I thought you were contradicting yourself there a bit with People are looking at goals and assists. You yourself, I think, when we had that discussion, did you have a problem? I mean, did you wanted Vinny to win it, didn't you? Or was it Vinny, or who did you want to win it last
Last
Ballon d'Or?
season,
Yeah.
well, I don't have an issue with Vinny. Vinny is a good player. I don't have an issue with Vinny. And Rodri winning it is also a win for me. So if Vinny actually won it, of course, looking at play generally, Vinny is a very good footballer. So I did not support Rodri against Vinny or Vinny against Rodri. I mean, anybody that won it was fine by me. But speaking about this season, I don't think, because of the way I see a winger to be, I don't think I would have said it on the pod. I wanted Rafinha to win. But if we are talking about goals and assists, and you are using that same yardstick for Yamal, knowing I see what they are writing on the group. They are saying I'm contradicting myself. What I'm trying to say is, let me say it again, no, because people don't understand English. Oh, it was even mad when
But
I said I think. I was not mad when. Hold on, I was not mad when you said I think. At that point in time, when I said I was on a part of the topic, if the season ends today, who is going to win the Ballon d'Or? And the people that were the front runners were Rafinha and Salah. Do you understand?
mhm.
Rafinha and Salah.
but are you not missing out the reason why they were both in the running then? Because they were and the reason Salah has dropped off because there's nothing on the Europe front for him. It's just the league. But Barcelona, I think before you look at goals and assists, right? You're going to look at what they have achieved, what they have won in that season, which is the first criteria, and that's what drops a lot of people off. It's not just the goals and assists. You
Good.
look at the contribution of all these players in that season. If you take away the goals and assists that you think is not worth it for Rafinha from Barcelona season, right? Do you still think? I mean, let play another player in his position. Are you going to get that same of output? If you take the goals and assists of Yamal off, you know, Barcelona's season so far, I mean, Divi's creativity, or people is dribbling this eye test and everything. Which one do you think is worth more than goals for Barcelona?
Look, come again. If I should take
If you
away
take away the goals and assists of Rafinha away from Barcelona, leave everything. He's the most sometimes the captain, or what is he? Is he usually your captain? Or yeah. And then for Jamal as well, take away his goals and assists and leave everything else that he does, which
Yeah.
is he takes on, he dribbles. Which do you think is worth more for Barcelona?
well, I'll go for Yamal. I'll go
You
for
think you'll
Yamal.
be in the same position if there wasn't a
It's go
Rafinha
if
goals and assists?
no, definitely will not be in that position. Will never be in that position. What I'm trying to say is, based on the play, what me I see footballers, I would agree with Show if he says I think Rafinha, because I understand what he's trying to say. But if you are also bringing the goals and assists and saying Yamal should not have gotten Ballon d'Or shout because of his goals and assists of last season, then when it comes to that same criteria, you should not say I think Rafinha. If you are going to say, okay, whatever they want to use to win this, okay, let's assume Barcelona wins the treble and everything ends the way it is going. And Barcelona wins the treble. Of course, I'll give it to Rafinha. He has scored more goals if you are going to use that criteria. But just play, just what they do on the pitch, I'll definitely go for Yamal.
But does that win you game most of the time now? I know how many times I've watched Yamal, for example, fluff at chances, dribble. I mean, he plays the shots, he doesn't score the goal, and that's one of the reasons why he has these low numbers in terms of goals. But yes, he does create. That's fact. That's why sometimes when I say, "Oh, you can't say Yamal does not have stats. He has stats to back him up. He's the top assister um in the La Liga, one of the top assisters in the Champions League. Even for Spain, is there. Like, he does his job in terms of creating for people to finish. Right, goals is not there, right? But Rafinha is also there when it comes to both of them. You can
Sorry,
say
your agenda go set.
you can say things like, oh, he entertains people, but that entertainment is not what wins you games. Oh, I hope you're aware. It's not the entertainment. He can sell you tickets, he can beam you to your stadium, but it does not win you the games. Someone's directness is actually winning you those games.
So let me make this question easier for you, Lala.
OPK can help you. You want
No, let me make it. I'll make it easier, and you see people will talk now. So if you are
Okay.
saying what wins you games is goals and assists,
Yes.
can Show explain to us why he's saying football has dropped and Rafinha is not? Because I saw your chat. I saw the tail with you and the back and forth with you and Show. Why does he think with Rafinha's goals and assists, he's not the kind of player to win Ballon d'Or?
Yeah. Maybe Show can talk for himself. Show.
Sorry, what's that? I didn't get that. Please, can you come again?
You didn't get
Please.
that, but you are saying something in the chat. You see people.
Can you please say it again?
Okay, I will say it again. Lala said goals and assists is what wins games, and Rafinha is more direct. And you also said a player that got 7 goals and assists or whatever last season should not be getting Ballon d'Or shout. Why do you think, for the fact that Rafinha has this much goals and assists this season, he is not the kind of player to still win the Ballon d'Or?
Okay. Thank you for the question.
You're welcome.
Okay, so to start with, you need to first realize something. My reason for saying that football has dropped was not because of Rafinha. Nah. Okay, that's that. Then also, Rafinha's season, I think he's had about 31 goals in all competition, if I'm correct.
You're always
31
thinking.
goals. Yeah, I think so. I'm not so sure, but it should be around that. Now, if you look at, say, the last, maybe let's say 12, 13 years, okay, for a forward, of course, because all of them now, they are, attackers. For a forward, I don't think that anybody with 31 goals has won the Ballon d'Or, except you are a central midfielder or a defender. So these are part of the reason why I feel, we've been introduced to people that score 60-something goals a season, Now we're having people. Meanwhile, at the time, Rafinha had not even scored up to 31 goals at that particular time. More so, yes, at that particular time when we discussed, I was mentioning Salah, Mbappe, Vinicius, and the likes. Yeah. More so, that day, I totally forgot Rafinha. I totally forgot. If you
God love
notice,
you,
it was the last person that I mentioned that I said I think Rafinha. Rafinha he's having a very good season compared to the previous seasons he has had in his football career. So he's having a very, very good season. So there's no reason for me to say that he shouldn't be contending for the world best, owing to the fact that this guy might probably even win a treble this season, even though I believe it's double Liga and that Copa del Rey that they will win. Yeah. But for him to have scored that much goals, and he's not like the focal point of, like a striker, out and out striker. Yeah, he's having a very good season. So I don't know we can say the truth sometimes, and we can add a bit of part, down there too. So it was a bit of part down there that he took. Yeah.
But Lala, do you remember that you and Show, you still had this conversation on the tail, I think 3 days ago?
Yeah, I did. I think that was what she was going to respond to, but I don't think
You
he
didn't.
touched.
You see my
Which
point?
one, please?
They are
Which
in the
one?
chat.
When you talked
hold
about
on, hold on. They are in the chat. He and Okwenka, they are giggling, they are laughing. Oh, he's contradicting himself. Oh, he's doing that. Look at what Show was discussing with Lala about 3 or 4 days ago. He said in his chat, I'm looking for it. Oh, he said it. He said, Rafinha is not the kind of player to win Ballon d'Or.
actually, he touched on it because I think he said he was
So
already.
isn't that what I just said?
Yeah.
That's not what you said.
You see the issue.
Wait. He
Maybe
said.
you don't maybe you need me to
Oyibo.
repeat myself like 2-3 times, before you
My
understand.
question is, what
I
I
said
asked
that
was,
we have been introduced to guys who are scoring about 50, 60, 70 goals a season. And now we're having somebody at the time, it was like 20-something goals. How in the world is this person supposed to be vying for Ballon d'Or when he's not a
but
defender
currently,
or central midfield?
currently, the the player with the highest. See, we have introduced players with 60 something, 50 something. Agreed. And you said as at the time, that time I said if the season ends today, who is going to win it? And as at that time, the two people that were leading the charts were still Salah and Rafinha, if I'm right. Mbappe wasn't even there. That time I didn't even think Mbappe has peaked because when everybody were mentioning their best player, I think most people even put Bellingham ahead of Mbappe. Mbappe hasn't skyrocketed that time, but now the player with the most goals and assists generally when it comes to Europe and doing very, very well, and the one that has more on his plate, like trophies at hand, is Rafinha. Why do you still think you have to compare him with the likes that used 69 goals to collect Ballon d'Or, not knowing that
Sometimes, okay,
at this time,
sometimes when we're talking about Barcelona players, especially, please, I like you to, not to attach too much emotions to it because
bro,
you
nothing
always
is emotion now. We are doing that. I don't understand emotion. Love, bro.
hold on now.
No,
Hold
God,
on.
no, they tell me say I did emotion now, bro.
Continue.
No,
Okay,
they talk am. No,
continue.
they tell me say I did emotion now. I dey tell you something, say I did emotion now. I don't know they talk am, please. Don't tell me say I did emotion now. We dey
But
argue emotion.
the way you did talk now, Sha,
Bro, I know
don't-
they dey emotion now, bro. We dey banter, we dey argue, we dey talk on fact. If they give
Okay.
anybody, no they talk say I did emotion now. No they talk
Okay.
that kind of thing.
Okay, let's calm down now. So,
All right.
if I-
So, like I said, sorry, Lala. Like I said
Yeah.
earlier, okay. The major reason that day why I didn't mention Rafinha immediately was because I actually forgot. I mean, I said it just a few minutes ago. That was the reason why I didn't mention it in the first three or first four that I picked at the time. Yeah. That aside, the caliber of, I mean, I've said it severally. Dele is here on this pod. Lala, you're here. I've said it severally, not even because of Rafinha or anybody now, that the quality of footballers that we have now have dropped drastically. We've said it. So this is not about Rafinha or something. No, you can attach it to Rafinha. I mean, that's your own cup of tea. But I mean, this is not because of Rafinha or Salah or anybody. No.
Okay, all right.
But May too. Look at you said the point. You are
That's
still
salam.
missing.
No, you know what?
No, I'm no, bro.
But he actually explained it when he mentioned when he said imagine Rafinha winning Ballon d'Or, and I asked him, he goes, I mean, I did use those two guys as the
Agreed.
reason.
I'm not
right?
arguing with you. I
Go
was
on.
also blessed to watch all these people do extraordinary things. So
Okay, before we invite too much away
my
from
question is, look at May 2.
yeah.
May 2, he said, when we say the quality of footballers have dropped drastically, you people say we dey gba. Imagine Rafinha winning Ballon d'Or. Sigh. I'm not arguing with that statement. My own is, we have watched people win the league and win the Ballon d'Or with 69 goals. Now that football has dropped, the person with the highest number of goals is still this guy. Why are you now picking on the fact that Rafinha should not be winning the Ballon d'Or because we have seen players with 69? How many goals is Salah? How many goals does Salah have over him that you think a player like Salah should be worth it? And Salah is
Please
not
hold
even
on.
69
I never
goals.
said Salah should worth it. Please, please, please.
I'm
Let's
asking you
get our
something
facts
on your
right.
tweet. You said I'm
Nah,
emotional.
nah, nah,
I
nah,
asked you
nah.
something. You are
Let's
not
not
saying something.
see.
You are saying Dele is here. Lala
Okay,
is
hold
here.
on. Okay, hold on. Will you hold on? All right, no problem. Now,
They find the need to
Lala,
back you up.
if you go back to that conversation, Lala, what did I
Mhm.
say? I said, look at the profile of gold. We even won it before CR7 and Messi. And you mentioned Chevy and Ronaldo, and Owen. And I told you
Owen.
they were bad players at that time. Meanwhile, I mean, it wasn't just about the goals at that particular time, but those guys were still bad players. Owen, I mean, we saw Owen in the World Cup when he came out. We saw Owen in Liverpool, and he played, played football. Figo won the FIFA World Best at that year.
So no,
Sure you understand? Yeah.
now this
So, I
discussion
mean,
go carry us go
yes.
that
So I
previous
don't know
topic.
what he's saying. See, my
No, I
issue with
did
him
tell
is
you I did
there's
time
no
chip
way,
in.
there's no way I even literally mention or mean that Salah will win it. No. The only time that I will keep hammering on Salah is his comparison with Hazard. That's the agenda about
You are going
Salah
round
at
in
that
circles.
time.
I asked
So I
you.
don't know
I
what he's
asked
saying.
question. I asked you about what I asked you. I put something down. You said I'm emotional. I'm still asking that question. You have no answer. We have
don't- we don't
What
buy-
is it?
We
We
don't
have
buy
to-
away from the topic.
What is it?
Wait,
What's that?
Guys, yeah,
The
wait.
question
that?
is, we have watched players before Messi and Ronaldo.
Mm.
Now, top players, Michael Owen and others. Yes, agreed. Now, Messi and Ronaldo came and they made us fall in love with goals and assists. Accepted. Now we are in another era of football, and the top contenders, contenders of the Ballon d'Or. This guy is there. He has shown you he can score goals, even if he doesn't have play generally, which I mentioned before you guys said I was correcting myself. Now he has shown you he can score goals, he can do assists. Why do you now start saying, imagine Rafinha win? Okay, let me now ask you a question. With Rafinha's goals and assists, if he doesn't win the Ballon d'Or, who do you think should win in this now that football has fallen down?
All right. So thank you for the question once again.
You're welcome, sir.
So you can calm down. Now, that tweet, okay, literally was just supposed to complement the initial tweet that I've been talking about, which was the quality of football players are drastically,
Which I agree with you.
because Rafinha to me is the sole contender of Ballon d'Or now. He is. That's why I mentioned his name. I mean, I did put Salah there. I would have said Salah should have won Ballon d'Or now. But I didn't put him. I believe Rafinha will win the Ballon d'Or. That's what I believe. And that's just to literally just compliment the fact that, yeah, football has actually fallen. Even Ronaldinho said it now. Now look at the quality of these Brazilian players. Now this one's I will go watch. He said it.
Okay. We may just end it for there because we don't come out the initial topic of which we want to discuss. It was just Yamal. Does any other teenager come to mind for any of you, right? That has done it as big as Yamal is doing it right now. I mentioned Neymar as an example because he burst onto the scene for Santos at 17. I mean, if you look at his debut pictures, you know how young he was looking. And I mean, we saw Messi at 19. Ronaldo was at 19 as well. Although it took a few years for him to start kicking in the goals and assists. We saw Mbappe at, if I want fight job, I go say 17. We saw Mbappe at 19. And yeah, I think Alan at 20 or thereabouts, or was he 19 as well? Is there any other teenager that comes to mind that you feel, if people are, trying to be, if there's recency bias in them, looking at Yamal and saying, oh, there's no other teenager that's done it as big as this before. Does any of these guys rank, do you think they did it better than Lamine Yamal, or do you think Lamine Yamal trumps them all and he has a bright future ahead of him? I'll go with Show or OPK. I think OPK should go first. Make sure the rest
Which is, I think, yeah, but right. I think at 17, I think Yama ages all these players, because even if you are looking at them at 17, Neymar was at Santo, Messi was like a B player, so to say. I think Ronaldo was still at Sporting at 17.
Yeah.
Mbappe was at Monaco. Malan, I don't know where he was at 17. So if you are looking at this at 17, I think Yamal has done a very great job at 17, like being the like one of the life of your team, carrying your team. If you don't turn up, the team will struggle. If you turn up, then your sure Baka is winning. So I think at 17 he has done better than all these players. It's another conversation. If he can continue this way, that is another conversation. Can he be consistent? Can he score more goals? But I think those are conversations that come with maturity. Once he gets matured, there's some things that we need to add to his game. He's not there yet, and that's just the fact. But he has room for improvement, but he's on the right track, and it can be much more than this.
Okay, I wanted to ask a question. We've seen the rise of young footballers when they burst onto the scene too early. But for every Neymar that there is, there's also people like Messi or Ronaldo who have, they have the longevity in them. They've been there. They've done it consistently over the years. Do you fear for someone like Lamine Yamal that he may just end up, by 26, 27, struggling to play like Neymar when with all the injuries and all that? Do you fear that he's playing too much football at this early age and he's not being eased into professional football?
Genuinely, I think so. Playing over 100 games at 17 is crazy. Right? Even if he stays fit, I think at some point, the motivation to keep going, let's say at 24 or at 26, but then if he continues with the right coach, right people around him that will let him know that he's still a kid that like he is and take it slowly. And I think he's also getting carried away with the hype and the social media thing. I think there was a day I saw a tweet from someone that said he's more interested in Yamal's failure than he is in his own success. Right. So I think he needs a lot of people around him to let him know, okay, he's still a young boy. There's some things you should not do at this age, some things you take slowly. There's some games you should sit out, right? So that's way he can be much more and play for a longer period. But honestly, I fear for him on a longer run. But I hope I think he has so much talent that I genuinely wish does not fade off early. So we can enjoy him for, let's say, some 10, 15 years more.
I would like to
And the
add
funny thing that at
when you're
15
done.
years, in 15 years' time, it's just going to be 32. So I think it's still, I wish him well.
I want to add something to what Opeyinka said. See, honestly, I said it. I said, see, it's never going to be very rosy. There's one thing for you to play a lot of games at this age. There's one thing for you to go get an injury, go for an injury break and come back and still hit that same point you were before, because a lot of things would have changed. Imagine him going away for a year. He's just 17 years old. We have seen a lot of players, see player like Owen Hargreaves, when the injuries just ruins everything. That's what I actually fear for, because I've seen that he has a lot of talent. He's very poor at shooting, but I think he has he understands that it's not every game he needs to put his best, because I saw him yesterday and he was basically just doing nonsense. I've said a lot of times there are some games he just does nonsense. But you see the top games where where I expect him to um show up, he does it very, very well, which actually wows everybody. But you see the little games, maybe some games where we have actually won, or games where he thinks, okay, he just does everything. I'm actually scared. He has played over 100 games at this age. And see, if this guy can keep it up, do away from injuries. See, that social media, I think this new generation of whether content creators, footballers, or people, streamers, or everything, they take social media very, very serious. So we are never going to get the
I said skills. You want me to skills name?
Skills don't drop some for him. I don't see him.
What I'm trying to say is we are never going to get yeah, we are never going to get the humble footballers anymore. We're never going to get the humble Messi. I think if Messi was the way Yamal was,
you think Messi was humble, or you think Messi is humble?
Messi will okay, Messi is not humble. We can see the way he's behaving in America. I mean, talking back at defenders or anything. That was not who Messi was when he was at his prime. You understand? Imagine if Messi was a social media person and he scores 3 goals against Madrid in the semi-final or quarter-final, and he goes on Instagram and says, "I am him." The debate of him and Ronaldo will never have happened, because he was backing it up every week in, week out. Imagine when he scored the free kick against Alisson Becker, he said, "Who is their number one keeper?" You know, these are the kind of things Yamal is doing. These are the kind of things he's doing. And you see, we're never going to get to the humble players anymore. That era is gone. We are in the new era. Change is constant. Yamal will never be humble, but I hope he can keep up.
What's the name of their generation? Is it Generation Alpha? What are they called?
I think it's Alpha, yeah.
Yeah, Dele. I'm going to bring you in here. You see what Yamal is doing right now. Can we say that him busting onto the scene at 16, 17 is going to make a lot of clubs, managers look inwards and see players that, they think they are ready, or they want to ease them in. They don't want them to they don't want to throw them in just like that. They still give them chances here and there. Do you think what Yamal is doing, people are going to be looking at their talents in their academies and be like, nah, whether you're 16 or you're 17, you are ready and you should be, coming, making your debut and starting games. I know for Arsenal now, you have people like Lewis Kelly, who is 18, who's having a dope season as well. Do you think more managers will be looking inwards and trying to, give debuts, give chances to more teenagers?
For 18 years old, I think 18 years old is okay, but Yamal is just one out of it's once in a while kind of talent. I mean, it's hardly you see a kid that young with the composure and skill set and mentality. And it also depends on different coaches. Like I tweeted yesterday, I said if Yamal was in Arsenal, I sure by now he would probably have only played 9 games and maybe defending a lot. So let's give that praise to Xavi, because I think Xavi was what that brought all these boys, not only Yamal, brought all this
Kubasi,
Kubasi, all those,
yeah,
you know. And
Pedri.
the other day I watched was it Kubasi or the other guy, and he made some tackles like I heard he's just 18 as well. I'm like, wow,
Yeah, yeah.
you know. I mean, I don't watch La Liga like that, but I watched that particular game, and yeah, it's amazing what Xavi did for them. And not all clubs also has the talent Barcelona has in La Masia. Uh some other clubs they don't. Maybe they only have maybe a lot of wingers or players that just know how to run and cross, especially English teams. So yeah, it might open
Yeah,
for
players like who? Mention one name. Run across.
run and cross. I don't want to mention names.
I
But
thought you were going to say Ganacho.
I mean, Garnacho, I don't think Garnacho, I've always liked Garnacho. Garnacho is not a bad player to me. I think Manu is just what is. Put a Garnacho on the other side for Barcelona, you see him real play.
Thought about that, yeah.
He's not a bad player like that. We've seen Manu. The only player Manu has not dragged down is Bruno Fernandes, and I don't understand why. Because that's the only player. Any other player, give him time. Maybe because of they are going through a lot of things. Maybe. But for me, I'll take Garnacho in my team.
Okay. Okwenka, you
Arsenal,
mentioned.
they're not as emotional actually. They're not as I'm sorry, Man U fans, they are the emotional ones. They have never experienced any good thing. They don't have young players coming up. Look at Estavio Willian is coming up for Chelsea. Arsenal has one.
Never even played for Chelsea. I want to ask Okwenka. I mean, we've seen clips of him scoring goals. Have you watched any 90-minute games of this young
Don't drop
chap?
out of that.
No, I've not seen any 90 games of him, but I've seen highlights. I have an idea of what he can do. I'm not getting carried away anyways, but I think
Like Pepe's highlight.
I'm not getting carried away, but I think he has something special. Watch out, watch his space.
Okay. We'll see how it goes.
Just like
Show.
Hamas and Garnacho.
I was going to ask Show, who do you guys have coming up? Prospect. I know you delivered Menu last season, and he's done well. Got in the England debut, went to the Euros. Who else has Man U got to offer? I know Arsenal have Nwaneri and Miles Skelly.
Ahmad. Don't get it.
Yeah.
Don't get it wrong. Have Ahmad.
Okay. Well, I really don't know.
You don't know.
The club is trying to do, but
You don't know anything.
there's this Fredrickson, he even played today, and then Amas.
Chide Obi.
Well,
But Chidobe, how many games he don't play? He never score one goal.
The
Yeah,
goal
yeah.
will come.
yeah, he never. That one.
Out of Ahmad that is doing
But
better.
then, yeah,
Ahmad has
that's-
more impact
that's-
than Pedri. Ahmad is 19 hours.
So then another thing is Ahmad
don't
is
hear
not
me.
19.
Ahmad. Out of Ahmad. Speak about Ahmad.
He's not 19. Ahmad played today and he scored
How
a
old is
goal.
he?
He's not some people that will go some 25 games
the
without
person?
any assist. I'm not mentioning any name so that you don't take it personal.
How-
So,
the
like I
person?
said, okay. So, who is what? Is pre-assist merchant now. You know what who I'm talking about. You don't have to pretend like you don't. You do.
Okay.
You're right. You're right.
So meanwhile, Ahmad played as a fullback today. Maybe you don't know, and he still had a goal.
Okay,
So
that's amazing.
so that you can understand. So okay, so well, we have Fredrickson and Mars and Chidobi
Okay.
for me.
Chidobe, you
But,
stole from Arsenal though.
Yeah. Is Arsenal. You know, I think Barcelona and Arsenal used to have the best fillers team some time ago. I don't know what happened to Arsenal eventually, but Barcelona and Arsenal used to have that massive fillers team back then. Yeah, except for our own class of '92 that eventually turned to Agbaya now. Just saying all sort of things. Yeah, but yeah, aside those people, yeah, I think Barcelona and Arsenal used to have best fillers team.
Okay. We're gonna move on to the last topic of the day, which is just the preview for the second leg. First leg ended 0-1 to PSG and 3-3. I mean, the second game was a blockbuster, goals here and there. Ola Salam, did you expect that Inter would score 3 goals against you at home?
We will just the open yash as we like. Oh. If he score 5, but if he score 5, I'll score 6.
Well, how come you guys didn't outscore them this time? What happened? You guys were at home. If it was a away goal like this, not go the peace for body as it did like this.
It's a Champions League, regardless of whoever you are playing. Even if I meet the bottom team Arsenal, I mean, or even the bottom team Man U at this point, I will still respect them. It's a Champions League game. You have to be very, very careful. Anybody can shock you. Monaco has beaten me this season. Lille beat what's name of these people, and they beat Madrid. So it's a Champions League. Anybody can shock you. But I'm very confident on our attack. Maybe our defense is a bit shaky. And our keepers, we have one who is, I don't know, a chronic smoker, and we have one who just likes to take pictures. So
Who's the chronic smoker? Chesney?
yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, he smokes a lot. Yeah, and we have another one. We have our captain who just likes to take picture. I mean, but if you score 4, even if when we go to San Siro, if they score 4, we are scoring 5. We are qualifying. I can place everything I have on it. Yeah.
Okay.
We are winning.
So Dele, I know we talked slightly on this for us now. I mean, you have to be optimistic. You guys have gone away in the Champions League and won at difficult places. You're one of the top ranked teams in the group stages. You've already played PSG this season. You beat them. Now they are without a Dembele. Does that change anything for you? Are you going to back Arsenal to turn it around in the second leg?
Yeah, as a fan, I back my team to turn it up. Without Dembele, it will be slightly different because his speed and his pace was causing a lot of his movement as well up front. Saliba, I don't know what's wrong. I think he's ready to go. For me, if he wants to go, he can leave. But Wednesday, I mean, we'll see what happens.
I know you already talked about Wednesday. If the result is bad, season over, right? And that's it.
Yeah, because you don't know you don't know the Arsenal you're getting as well. You probably be the Arsenal that is sloppy. But like me and a friend of ours discussed earlier, the way Arteta plays, it's more. Would I say it's more better for an away game? Because most times this season, the way we play is you score one, you take your foot off the gas, control the game. But for home games, it's always coming back to bite us. You score one first. We've dropped 21 points from winning position in the league. That says a lot. Last season, we only dropped 7 points.
Okay. So, but I don't want to say, but you already said you're optimistic, which is good. We'll see how that goes on Wednesday. Show. I know your team is in the Europa League. You're more or less in the final, but we're not going to talk about Europa or Conference League. They don't deserve the spotlight. It's the Champions League. They deserve the spotlight. Is your prediction changing over? The second leg. I think you predicted Inter. Was it Inter and PSG you predicted, or Barcelona and Inter?
Yeah. No, Inter and PSG.
Okay. Inter and PSG. Is that changing for you? is anyone going to shock you? Do you think Barcelona would, do the job away?
No,
Barcelona can.
no. They can't. They cannot do any job.
Mm,
It's still Inter to go through.
okay.
Yeah, Arsenal might cause some problems, but PSG should go through.
Okay. Openka, you were not on the last. I think when you were now. Were you on the last episode?
When he said some things to Bamidele,
don't get us started. Openka, yeah, you were on that last episode. I think what was your prediction? Was it Barcelona and PSG? Wasn't it? Okay. Okay. Dele, your predictions. I don't think I got your predictions because you were not here last week. What's going to be your final prediction so that we'll come back to it after the semifinals.
What is that for the second leg?
Who's going to make it to the final between the two teams?
I mean, my money's on Inter. I know that for sure. I mean, I'll say Arsenal too, as a fan.
Inter Arsenal. That's going to be a good matchup as well. OPK, if you're here, just let me know if your predictions have changed. Mine has not changed. It will be PSG Inter. And I think I'm gonna go with it. I mean, let me not let the cat out of the bag, but yeah, we'll talk about the final when it comes on. There's not going to be any trivia today, but there was one comment I missed. It came in about 2 months ago on YouTube. I know some people will laugh, but let me just read it out. And it came from the episode where we had Waneri in the same class as Yamal conversation. And this guy, his name is at Olu Nuges. He says, Waneri is not up to Yamal. Stop it and slap that guy Rollins for me. I just saw that comment today and I'm like, how did I miss this? I didn't read it out. Olu Nuges.
I don't know why people will be. See, that's a lot of conversations are just very, very funny. Even in the banter group, just bring up funny things.
Yeah. So that was the comment we had that I did not read. So guys, if you listen to this very moment, thank you for making it a date with us. Guys on YouTube, leave a comment. Anything we've discussed here that you don't like or you want to respond to, just either on YouTube or Spotify or X. I'm going to pass it on to the guys. This one now, I'm going to screenshot it and I'm going to go and send it to Rollins so that you can see. So yeah, they all see your comments. Guys, thank you for coming. It was we fixed pod. We went 1 hour 12 minutes. We usually do 1 hour, but thank you so much. Any last words? Any banter you want to throw? Please, you have the floor. 2 minutes. Sure, I'm not saying that them now you they go attack, but
No, that Dele, are you still joining Barcelona?
they don't buy
Nah,
jersey now. That joke.
Let us hear it now.
I know they watch La Liga now. I mean,
Are you still joining
no,
Barcelona?
I know they watch La Liga. La Liga is boring.
Okay, accepted.
Okay. Sure. Anything, any banter material you want to throw in there?
Okay. Thank you for the opportunity. I wouldn't say much. The only thing I'll just say is I do not think that somebody who has 6 league goals should be listed amongst Ballon d'Or. Thank
Who
you.
is that somebody? This season or last season?
This season,
This
Pedro,
season,
yeah.
please
Well,
go
for
and make your findings. Meanwhile, it is not Pedri,
oh,
please.
okay, it's not
Thank you.
Pedri. Okay, that's a shocker. I think I know who you're talking about, but we'll see. We'll leave that for the next episode. So, guys, thank you so much for making it a date. We'll see you on the next one.